Hey there, and welcome to this introduction. Today, we will be deep diving into the world of Django Ledger and its core model. If you've ever wondered where to start with the framework and where to start writing financially driven applications, this is the video for you. I will be providing an overview of the Django Ledger core model and its individual components, giving you a solid foundation to get started. If you want a free guide covering the Django Ledger core model and other topics, head over to miguelsanda.com/get-started today. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue making these videos for the community. If you have any questions, make sure to put those in the comments below. Or you could join our Discord channel on Django Ledger, where you're going to have direct access to me and other community members. The link is in the description below. Hi, I am Miguel Sanda. I'm the creator and lead developer of the Django Ledger open source project. And on this video, I'm going to be doing an overview of the Django Ledger core model, and I'm going to be giving you a solid foundation to get started with the framework. With that, let's hit it. All right, guys, so let's get started. So if you haven't, go ahead and start your Jupyter Lab server. And if this is unfamiliar to you, go ahead and check out the prior videos on how to set up your development environment. So let's start our Jupyter Lab server. First thing is that we go to our Django Ledger folder where we have all our project files. We execute ppmv shell to enter our development environment. And now we execute Jupyter Lab. All right. If everything went well, now you should be able to see your Jupyter Lab ID. Now, within the Django Ledger started template, I mentioned that there's the Quick Start Notebook, which I mentioned in the first video, and there's also a Notebooks folder. Let's go ahead and get into that Notebooks folder right now. The first notebook that we're going to be reviewing is the Django Ledger core model. The other notebooks are going to be related to a different tutorial or a different video. Okay, so this Django Ledger core model notebook is going to explain what each one of those models is all about. And this is a brief overview of each one of them. So as you can see, the Django Ledger core model is composed of 6 different individual models. The first one that we're going to be reviewing is the chart of account model. And the chart of accounts model is really a list of accounts. That's all it is. It's really a container for account model. You could see that there's relationships between these models. A chart of accounts model can have multiple accounts associated with it. And that makes sense because if we have a list of accounts, then we need to have a one-to-many relationship in this particular case. The next model that we're going to be reviewing is the account model. And an account model is basically a bucket of money which balance is tracked over time. The balance is affected by all the credits and debits that are performed to that particular account. You can see that there's also a one-to-many relationship between the account model and the transaction model. And again, that makes sense because each transaction can be associated with only one account model. The next one that we're going to be reviewing is the transaction model. And the transaction model is the lowest level in our application. The transaction model is really the allocation of money via debits or credits to an individual account. The transaction can be a debit or a credit. And also, depending on the account balance type, a credit will increase or decrease its balance. The next one that we're going to be reviewing is the journal entry model. And the journal entry model is really the heart of the double entry accounting system. The journal entry model is going to be responsible for validating that all the transactions that are added to the ledger are validated. Also, the journal entry model is responsible for keeping track of time. Each journal entry model will have a date time associated with it, therefore driving a lot of the financial reporting capabilities of the Django Ledger framework. There is a one-to-many relationship between the journal entry model and the transaction model. And that makes sense because one journal entry can have multiple transactions. The journal entry model is also responsible for validating such transactions. In other words, we want to make sure that the total credits equal the total debits for each individual journal entry model. This is the unbreakable rule of the accounting system. Next, we're going to be reviewing the ledger model. And this is where Django Ledger sets apart from other accounting systems. The ledger model is a programmable, extensible, and independent unit of accounting. A ledger model can really be associated with anything you want within your financial system. It could be a vendor, it could be a customer, it could be a piece of equipment. It could be anything your heart desires. A ledger model functions as a piece of your entity for which you can generate any financial statement you want at any point in time. Transactions associated with a ledger model are independent from any other ledger model within your financial system. There is a one-to-many relationship between the ledger model and the journal entry model. That means that a ledger model can have any number of journal entry models associated with it. Finally, we will get to the entity model, which is the company or legal entity for which the accounting system is maintained. Within Django Ledger, you can maintain multiple entity models. Each entity model will need to have an administrator and also can optionally have additional managers. As you can see, the entity model has a one-to-many relationship with the ledger model. And in reality, an entity model is just a logical grouping of ledger models. All ledger models together make up the entity model, which we will see in following videos. All right, we will start reviewing each one of these individual models from right to left. All right, if you want to expand on any of these models, you can always go get your free Django Ledger guide right here. In that guide, I provide practical examples so you can incorporate those into your project. All right, guys, that's it for this quick introduction on the Django Ledger Core Model. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. On the next video, we're going to be talking about the first Django Ledger model, which is the charts of accounts. And I'll see you in the next one.